We as a culture and as a society must avoid collectivism. Avoid collectivism the same way you avoid canker sores. I'll be right back and explain after this. Before we go any further, please subscribe to my channel and click on that little bell so you get notified every time we've posted a new video, which we do pretty regularly. Let's start with the NFL. They've assembled the very first all-black officiating team for the very first time, working Monday night's game between the Los Angeles Rams and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, citing the opportunity to recognize the league's history and recent practices in diversifying its officiating department. And the NFL is twisting itself into a knot, slapping itself on the back and high-fiving itself over its wokeness. Then there's this. The Associated Press has announced it will capitalize black and not white in all their news articles. Two things really cracked me up about that one. First is the fact that the AP makes this rule change in a memorandum that they send out to all the editors and their reporters, and then they have one of their reporters write an article about it just in case you didn't know. And secondly, I find it absolutely hilarious that they said that they couldn't capitalize white because whites do not have an homogeneous culture like blacks. Blacks have an homogeneous culture? Hey, listen, put an Ethiopian, a Somali, and a Zimbabwean in the same room and tell them that they're all the same. You'll properly get your ass kicked 3 ways from Sunday. True African blacks are no more homogeneous than are white Europeans. So, why has the Associated Press decided to do this? Why have they made this decree? Well, the short answer is that the liberal ruling class, which is comprised mostly of white people, absolutely loathe white people and worship blacks, or at least they pretend to, yeah. That's all in accordance, of course, with the cultural Marxist ideology that's all the rage nowadays and has served them as a form of religion. For a more in-depth answer, though, and the most brilliant assessment, let's go to Jason Whitlock.
It is a way of defining to black people that your most prized possession, your greatest asset, your most defining characteristic is your skin color. And once you convince people that their skin color is their most important asset, defining characteristic, they then start to cater all of their behavior to show off that attribute. No one else has to live up to their skin color. They're free to accentuate their intelligence, their faith in God, their commitment to family, their love of freedom. But we as black people, as defined by the white liberals, in my view, running the mainstream media, running Hollywood, we have to live up to our skin color above all else. And that's just not much of an attribute in terms of, like, it's a great packaging. I'm very proud of being black, but that's not my number one attribute. That I want to be defined by my faith in God. I want to be defined by my intelligence. That's what I want people to see when they think, and when they think about me, not my skin color.
Yes, this is what I've been saying for years. Thank you, Jason Whitlock. You articulated this brilliantly. It's the exact same way with any aggrieved group, whether it's gays or people of color or women. Why would anyone want to be defined by such a narrow perspective? I don't get it. There's more to you as an individual than just the color of your skin or your gender or sexual preference. Revering and worshiping any aggrieved group based solely upon the fact that that person has been born a member of that group is a way of controlling you as a group, controlling them so that they can be exploited for their votes and building this leftist political power machine based on identity.
If you go back 400 years ago, when America leaned into slavery, black people's skin color was, hey, that's a special classification of people. They're black. Therefore, because of their skin color, they don't have as much freedom as everybody else. Their skin color tells you all you need to know about them. That's their defining characteristic. These people, 400 years later, these are the ideological descendants of those bigots from 400 years ago saying, doubling down, a written reminder to black people, your skin color is your defining characteristic. And therefore, we're going to limit your freedom. You spend all of your energy trying to be unapologetically black. Everybody else gets to go out and try to be intelligent, gets to responsible, God-fearing, patriotic. We don't even control what is black. That's told to us by Chelsea Handler and every liberal running Hollywood. Joe Biden, if you don't vote for him, you're not black. If you don't think all these liberal thoughts, you're not black. We're not even in control of that. So we're actually trying to meet standards defined for us by other people, live up to their standards. And that's why, and they're defining blackness as a lot of things that just aren't healthy for us.
But that's liberal narcissism for you. They say that it's out of respect, but that's a lie, man. They don't understand respect, so they resort to fawning. Liberals resort to precisely the thing that they want for themselves, the only thing that they regard as a worthy treatment of themselves is revering them, bowing down to them for being a part of a collective group. What the Associated Press and what the NFL and anybody else, Joe Biden, Chelsea Handler, all of them, what they are doing here is practicing collectivism. And collectivism is a scourge. It is a plague on all of mankind, and it's the antithesis of freedom, and it's the antithesis of liberty. The fight that we are in here, make no mistake about this, the fight that we are in here is a fight for individualism and against collectivism.
Being a rapper and saying the N-word is about the blackest thing you can do according to Hollywood. This is crazy. This all started for me, Tucker, watching Dave Chappelle's Saturday Night Live monologue last Saturday. And I was like, Dave Chappelle's smarter than this.
Yeah,
but
he is.
Been forced, like everybody else that's black and a celebrity, when they put you on their Hollywood stage, when the people in control of Hollywood grant you that stage, you go be black, Dave. You go cuss, say the N-word, generalize about white people, be racist, be angry. You go be all those things. Don't lean into your intelligence, Dave. Lean into these things that we've defined as being black.
Jason Whitlock is absolutely amazing. He is saying things that so desperately need to be said, especially today in this day and age. And I don't know, maybe his words carry a little bit more weight. Maybe he's got more credibility when he says the things that he does. But these are things that we as conservatives have been saying for years. As conservatives, we do not worship the collective by any stretch. We don't worship any group. We actually celebrate the individual, not the group. We don't see people as members of groups. We see people as individuals. That's not to say that conservatives don't respect and support minorities. In fact, we do just the opposite. We as conservatives support the world's smallest of all minorities, the individual. In fact, as the greatest philosopher of the 20th century, Ayn Rand, famously said, the smallest minority on earth is the individual. And those who deny individual rights cannot claim to be defenders of minorities. Ask yourself a question. In this country, does the majority have the right to vote away the rights of the minority? Are minority rights subject to a public vote? The answer to that is no. That's the definition of a democracy. And our form of government is a representative republic. But notice what the liberals will always say. The left refers to our form of government as a democracy. Democracies mean mob rule. That's what they want you to believe. But the political function of rights is precisely to protect the minorities from oppression of the majorities. That's what makes our system of government so awesome. And as Ayn Rand said, the smallest minority, which we must protect, is the individual. Individualism holds that a civilized society or any form of association, cooperation, or peaceful coexistence among men can be achieved only on the basis of the recognition of the individual's rights, and that a group has no rights whatsoever other than the individual rights of its members. The collectivists push their agenda on minority groups as a way to manipulate them and to manipulate others. The Black Lives Matter movement is a collectivist movement, and that's why they're so dangerous and why they resist the phrase all lives matter, which is a celebration of the individual. Resist the collectivists. Resist them as if your existence depends on it, because it does. God bless the individual. God bless America, and death to the New World Order. I'm Jazz McKay, and I'll see ya. Well, thanks for watching. Be sure and like this video, subscribe to my channel, share to your social media, and leave nasty comments below. God bless America, and death to the New World Order.